take a nice long look at this because I hate every single thing about it, and I'm restarting. I'm restarting. So let's just restart, okay? Pretend you didn't see this. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Dalia, and today we're on my brand new Autumn Island CIDER working on my entrance build. As you guys saw at the beginning of the video, I already worked on this build and I hated every single second of it. Harv, why are you staring at me? I'm trying to do an intro. Can you walk away, please? I don't like being stared at when I'm talking, you know? Like, it's a little rude. It's a little rude. Okay, anyways. This has already been so messy and we haven't even started yet. Anyway, today we're working on my entrance build. As you guys can see, I'm very, very excited. And yeah, so let's get started, I guess. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit those post notifications, and become a member of the channel if you would like to support my content further. So yeah, if you guys remember when I did my code shopping, we picked a code for the main path on this island. So weirdly enough, the day after we posted that stream, I came across a really beautiful pathway that someone just posted. They had literally just posted it. So this leaf path is the one we had originally downloaded, and this is the new path. Creator code and the content creators info is listed in the description of the video. But yeah, this is my new road path, and I couldn't not use it. It's just so beautiful. I'm still kind of like fiddling with my path code, but yeah. So you guys already saw I tried to do this entrance already and I hated it. I don't know what it was. It just, the layout wasn't working for me, and I wanted this really small road kind of leading a vertical pathway up my entrance, and I tried to do something else and I hated it. So I deleted everything. I literally slept on it and then woke up and was like, I hate every single thing about this, so let's just delete everything and restart. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on it, just for complete transparency, to show you that even I, you know, the amazing content creator that I am, even restarts builds, like has deleted complete builds and restarted, completely deleted islands and have restarted. It's just, you know, that's the thing about content creating and about making creative ventures in general. It's all about, you know, trial and error, and if it doesn't work, you get rid of it and you restart, or you try to rework with what you already have. But I restarted. So I've set down my pathing. This one's actually a very easy path to use, so I think it's quite self-explanatory how to place it down. And for this island, it is more autumn than spooky, but I am going to be including some of the spooky items and some of the spooky fencing, because I've never used the spooky fencing before and I really, really love it. And I think for this particular island, it's a very nice little touch, especially with the like little pumpkin design on it. Okay, can I help you? The audacity of this dog today. Do you see? He's moving me. I'm gonna throw hands. I will fight.
Alright, that's it! Get out of the car! I'm gonna kick your ass! Oh, really?
At 6:46 a.m. Okay, anyways, 6:46 a.m. in the game, by the way, not in real life. I just love decorating in the early morning, and yeah. Anyway, please, Harv, stay away from me. But anyways, yeah, so I'll be using the spooky fencing on this island quite a bit, and the hedges. And I'm kind of still once again fiddling with how I want the layout of this island to kind of be, and the type of fencing I'll be using, as well as the items and stuff. This island is quite similar, honestly, to my Autumn Farm Island I did a couple years back. This one is more city town than natural, but I will of course be having natural areas like this area at the front where I'm making a bunch of trees. And you can see it's kind of like a mix, but it is more town than country, like more natural. So I'm just kind of replicating what I did at the entrance with the hedges again, and then planting some trees. I'm going to be planting some trees in more grassy areas, but then also intermixed with the tile of my pathing as well, just to kind of give it more of a realistic kind of feel. And then I honestly had no idea what I was going to do for this build. Like I said, I struggled very much with how to start this island, just because my plaza is so close to my entrance, and I didn't quite know how to go about doing it. So to the left of my plaza, to incorporate the more natural kind of vibe, I decided to place a bunch of dark dirt on the ground to start with, and then I was kind of debating whether or not to place a villager's home here or to do a pumpkin patch or something autumny. And I do still really love the idea of the pumpkin patch, but what I decided to do instead, that you'll see in a moment, is a wheat field using the wheat field items. And because I kind of wanted to put some villagers home at my entrance, I'm also doing a fun little kind of stacked neighborhood, not really kind of neighborhood, but doing some diagonal streets, which are some of my favorite types of streets to do. And then I'm going to be putting 2 of my villagers' homes in these areas. So Molly is going to be one of them. She is a villager we already had on my island as I was doing this island building. And then Weber is another villager that I got for this island that is going to be the second home. If you guys saw my villager hunt video from earlier this week, I tried to hunt for Weber for this build. Fortunately, it didn't work out, but we did find Lucky, who I'm still kind of up in the air about whether or not I'm going to have him, but I think he could really work for this island, even though he is more spooky than just autumn villager. But I wouldn't mind having him because I do have a build idea in mind for Lucky for this island. And I still have quite a few villager plots left to fill as we just started this island. So for right now, Lucky is on the island and I really love him and I've never had him before. So like I said, this area here is going to be a wheat field, literally exactly what it sounds like. I'm placing tons of wheat fields down in this area using the vertical fencing, which I love using the vertical fencing like this because it looks like its own individual door kind of setup thing with the way that the fencing kind of works. And then I'm just placing tons of wheat fields. I love this item. You guys know this is one of my favorite items in game. I usually put it down much more sporadically. This is actually my first time using it in a general field kind of layout, and it's annoying to place down. Nothing should be this difficult or complicated to get as straight as it is, but it took me a while. And one of the main reasons I wanted to do a build like this is I really wanted to use the tractor item, which even though I've done autumn and farm towns before, I've never used the tractor item in any build. So that incorporated with a couple of windmills, which I have used in builds before, I thought looked so cute. And then I'm just kind of filling in the wheat fields where I could. The only downside about the windmill item is that it is a 1.5 or 2 tile item. I don't know. Similar with this street lamp with the banner on it. Almost never use these on my islands, but I wanted to incorporate different items I haven't used in previous builds. And I'm going to be doing some symmetrical buildings, or places on this island, like I'm doing with the benches here and the street lamps. And I think the banner one just looks really cute in the space, and I wanted to use a really cute little banner design. Also link in the description if you would like to download it as well. It's very cute. And yeah, so I'm just kind of placing items at random and kind of just filling in the spaces. And I was gonna put the garden benches here in front of the res services, but because I already did it, I did the metal tables and chairs with a cute little camera and an iced coffee in front of it as well. And this is when I began to realize I wanted to include the pumpkin items, the spooky items in this island layout. Not too crazy. I only include a couple kind of thrown in as if the island is preparing to celebrate for Halloween. So it's not necessarily like a Halloween island, but it does incorporate Halloween items. So then I started to work on the more neighborhood build. So I placed the 2 houses, which I did off camera, and the bridge that I'm going to be including in this build. Like I said, I'm doing Weber and Molly's houses. Weber's house is the one beside the wheat field, and I do at the end of the video customize their houses. I did have to speedrun Happy Home Paradise, which I got very lazy and didn't want to do, so I was honestly debating just leaving it for now, but you know, I decided it's worth doing because it just looks so good when you customize their homes. So I quickly customized their houses at the end of the video, and you will see the final product there. Honestly, Weber and Molly's houses look really good, especially Weber's in my opinion for this island theme. Molly's is more cabin in the woods vibes, which I still love, but I think Weber's house, especially with like the color of the door and like the house exterior, just looks really good, but I still did customize them in the end. And for all my villagers' homes, at least to my knowledge at the moment, are going to have small kind of decks. I do have 2 deck paths I've downloaded to create kind of like porches for them, and I'm going to make most of their house exteriors very small and just give them small sitting areas and just keep it kind of simple with some barrels and more natural elements. I do put trash cans outside their houses, and I'm using the tiny libraries on this island as mailboxes for my villagers. I wish we had mailboxes that we can actually use for them, but unfortunately we don't. So just making it the best that I can with the situation at hand. And honestly, when you turn the tiny libraries around, they look like mailboxes in my opinion, and they're really cute. So I finished up Weber's, just gave them a very simple exterior with like a little sitting area like I said, and I'm basically replicating the same thing with Molly's house. I did have an awkward placement of the like little deck, so I did have to be creative with the placement of the spooky item, but I think it covers it. That's the problem with doing diagonal pathing sometimes, is you kind of have to be creative if it kind of abruptly ends in a weird way. But honestly, I'm very happy with the way that it's kind of positioned and laid out, and I think Molly's house looks adorable. I really like Weber's as well, but Molly's in particular I think turned out very, very cute, and I think the fact that her house is directly next to the bridge is definitely one of my favorite aspects of the build. And I'm kind of being creative with like every single villager's home having like a mixed match of furniture, just because I think it gives it more of a cozy, warm vibe, which is essentially the theme of the island, which is just cozy and like, you know, like a cozy little autumn hug. Which is a very vastly different approach to my island that I'm currently doing on my other Switch, which is a abandoned jungle island. Both are taking place in autumn, basically around the same time of year in like late November, but they have very different tones, and it's been very fun decorating 2 themes in the same time of year, because I typically do 2 seasonally different islands at the same time, but I'm having a lot of fun kind of experimenting with the different themes in the same season right now. So I'm basically done with the actual physical decorating. I do add a couple of random furniture items, but because I do need to fill in these areas in between the entrance, I'm putting some of the rock items, and then I'll be filling in the spaces with hedges and some flowers and some weeds. I had enough weeds growing on this island that I was able to get Leaf to pick them all up for me. I have never once in the entirety of this game since the 2.0 had enough growing on my island to have Leaf actually do the weed service. I didn't even realize just how many you needed to have growing, but because I kept time traveling to like do things, they just kept growing. Like the back of my island was an absolute disaster. I still have to flatten this island, but it was a disaster, so it was a little crazy to me. So I started decorating with some additional items, the evergreen ashes, the fire hydrant, manhole covers on the ground, you know, just like very basic, kind of filling them in city items. This island is definitely more clean than the other city islands I have done in the past, like my Trash Core Island, which is the last city island I've done. But I'm still incorporating a couple of my dropped items that I use, like my scattered papers, piles of leaves, obviously. It's just going to be a little less messy this time around. But the thing is with city islands is that I like to make them look fuller than you typically should, because mostly city islands are pretty open in terms of like the streets being more bare. I don't like having bare builds. I like things to be as full as humanly possible. It's just who I am as a decorator in Animal Crossing. So I'm gonna try to make as many spaces as full as possible on this island as I can. We're getting towards the end of the video. The last thing I said I had to do was just plant some flowers. Honestly, the flowers I'm using for this island are extremely similar to the one I'm using my other island. Same color scheme, just a couple of differences in flower type. Like I'm using cosmos on this island and not using cosmos on my other island. But other than that, everything is pretty much the same. And I am going to be time traveling to overgrow the weeds that I do now have planted, because now I can do that without having to worry about the other weeds that are already overgrown, because the leaf took care of those for me. I also did throw some wheat fields kind of in between the spaces too, just to kind of fill it in. I'm mainly going to be using the orange wheat fields, but I'll probably be incorporating some of the like soft pale green one as well, just because they look like destroyed weeds, you know, like dying weeds. And then the last thing I did was quickly customize Weber and Molly's homes. Like I said, I gave Weber more of a brown exterior and Molly slightly more of a softer reddish brown color going on, basically to match the villagers' aesthetic, but also to go with my theme. And yeah, that's it. I ironically, much like my other island, managed to find an early autumn morning that has fog, and I kind of love it. So without further ado, let's see how my autumn island looks in the early morning with the fog. It's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. Alright everybody, that is everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm having so much fun working on this island, and I'm so happy that I reset. If you guys liked today's video as well, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and join the channel as a member if you are interested in supporting my content further. Link to the info is listed in the description of the video. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!